This is everything else. Yeah, this is everything else. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to another edition of ETC. I am one of the hosts, Marcus the Grind Finale. God damn it. I was really coming from Manny right as a jump. What? The thumbnail. I will fix that thumbnail as soon as I get a chance. Then apparently I still don't get it wrong. God damn it!
Yeah.
I believe I double checked it. That's the worst part. Unless I edited it and then changed back and forgot to fix it. Whatever.
It's not Dynamite. It's Dynamite.
Dynamite. Welcome to the 200th episode of Dynamite. Well, I'm Marcus the Grand Finale, who messes up and cannot spell and refuses to use spell check because he's against artificial intelligence. And I'm joined by
not one, not two, but all three faces of me, as you can see.
Jamal, the member of the elite, the real sharp shooter.
The real sharpshooter of the sharpshooters. All right?
Yep.
All right.
So, we have a lot to talk about. So, Diamante is at 200 episodes. No, Dynamite is reaching its 200th episode tonight, and we're going to discuss the good, the bad, the ugly, the history, the story of Dynamite, what has happened over this 200 episode period. And, I'm shocked. I feel like we got to 200 episodes relatively fast to get to Dynamite. How about you? What do you feel?
I mean, how long has AEW been around? Like 3 years or something like that?
3 or 4 years, something like
that.
That's
a long fucking time, man. That's a long time. 200? That's impressive, especially since WWE exists. You know what I'm saying? Burying companies left and right.
Yeah, because the start of the Dynamite story begins with, Cody, the Bucks, Kenny, blah, blah, blah. They can do all in and blah, blah, blah. If you want to know more about this, you can check Cody's documentary on Peacock. It's a good time to establish that anyway. But it all starts then, and then they put Dynamite up, and the first thing WWE tries to do is crush them by putting NXT up against AEW Dynamite, and it's the Black and Gold brand. At the time, my favorite wrestling show in all of wrestling. It was the most consistent, more than Raw, SmackDown, any Ring of Honor, whatever. Black and Gold NXT was where it was at for me. No takeover commission. I said, "Oh, Dynamite might be in trouble." NXT was killed off by AEW Dynamite in their heyday, in their prime. We go through a pandemic. We go through the CM Punk era. We go to the rise and fall, all these ebbs and flows. And here we are today at the 200th episode of Dynamite. And you know what? I feel like it's an accomplishment. I feel like they survived all this. How do you feel?
Initially when AEW was brought to fruition and stuff like that, people were pegging it to be WCW 2.0. Unbeknownst to them, NXT was the one that got that 2.0 moniker. And
no! Don't bring it up.
So
down south slinging. They were down south slinging, damn it.
But yeah, man, it's very impressive. It's a testament to all those guys and girls that work at AEW to continue doing what they do. Especially when WWE does exist. It's funny because, me rocking Cody right now in honor of the 200 episode. It's the Elite Cody, not like WWE Cody and stuff like that. Yeah, man, the fact that he's not only represented in WWE, but also AEW. You think WWE put this documentary out by coincidence? Hell no. They knew what they were fucking doing. They said, 200 episodes AEW, put a Cody doc out.
Well, I don't know if it was about the 200 episode when they were going to put the Cody doc out. I think it was more toward the all-in pay-per-view around there when they were going to start hyping it. If I'm strategically, because
Put the
They
dot.
want to be like, hey, who put the heart? Who created All In? All right, who was the man who pushed All In to happen? It wasn't everybody else. It was my idea to put 10,000 seats out there, and I did it with me and the Bucks, and we threw all our money in there. It felt like that was the reason to doing all this. And on the day that the Elite announced that they have re-signed with AEW, the speculation is over that they would go to WWE and feud with the Bloodline. My dreams are crushed in dream feuds whatsoever. But they can
I
do it
mean,
in their
like,
40s.
I mean, it just does. It just makes sense for all of them to resign, right? Like Cody, not so much because he does have blood ties to WWE. So, like, that's okay. Like, we can accept that, even though Cody helped create this new entity, that he can go back home to where he belongs, type stuff like that. Like, we can accept that. It'll be completely different if like the Young Bucks, like these guys that are super indie, like the indie guys, to fucking go to like make this company, and then at the same time, at the same token, then just turn their back on all of that shit. Have like every connection that they made with different like pro wrestlers out in AEW to then go to WWE to the other guys. That's crazy. That would be insane. But they're the EVPs. Like, of course they're gonna fucking resign.
Yeah. And so, Jabal, in the 200 episodes of Dynamite, what have stood out to you the most about Dynamite the show? I know we can go into Collision and Rampage. This isn't about them and their legacy. Rampage is a piece of garbage. Collision is my favorite show. But Dynamite, what do you think the legacy of Dynamite has been in these 200 episodes?
So I think for me, like Dynamite has just been a breath of fresh air for like the casual wrestling fan, not like the hardcore like us, but for the casual wrestling fan that's like I had people who haven't watched wrestling like for a long ass time ask me something about Dynamite, and I was just like, that's not WWE though. Oh, WWE doesn't have a new show. It's on Wednesdays. So it's like, I was like, no, that's AEW. What's AEW? I was like, the shit that you just watched. Oh, but I saw Chris Jericho and I saw Big Show and I saw all these things, and I thought they were WWE. No, that's a completely different show. It's a breath of fresh air. Like, I'm saying something that like,
Yeah.
oh, I might have to go peep this out and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it does. Right off the jump, even when it started, it didn't feel like a WWE product. It felt like how people would freeform everything, and like everything felt freestyle, and it had this energy of like, I don't know what's gonna actually happen on this show. Like it seemed like everything that either it can all go wrong or it's all going to go correctly in its early stages, and you were just like mesmerized by like, oh, this is gonna happen. And then you get all these talents that you didn't see that have been on the indies for years or in Japan or whatnot. We'll talk about either Omega, your Orange Cassidy's, your what was the SCUs, all these guys who have been just on the independents or just on the circuit. They've all just been there, trying to just make a name for themselves. And Dynamite ended up being that platform where all these people from all over the globe could just show up at any given moment. Like at any given moment, you can show up on Dynamite. You could be just some local indie guy. Let's say, what's the fucking pizza guy? What's the pizza guy? The Luigi Primo could just be in some garage somewhere spinning pizzas out of nowhere. Next thing you know, that dude's on Dynamite fighting Orange Cassidy or whoever. And that's what I feel like Dynamite has brought to the table that no wrestling show on a larger scale has brought. That you don't know who's coming out that curtain on any given week. And they may advertise it on someone who's like, oh, Gravity's fighting this week, or Commander's coming out this week, or here comes Bandito. I just named a bunch of luchadors because that's kind of what they've been doing. Or Action Andretti is fighting Chris Jericho. All these random names that come out of nowhere, and you'd be like, damn, they just appeared on Dynamite this week. And it was like, you know what? I can deal with that. And it's just a new energy. But,
they have this very unique thing with what AEW does. They have this very unique thing where they have like a lot of guys that are known, and that's either from their WWE days, their like Impact days or whatever. Not like like a Jay Lethal, Keith Lee, Shane Strickland, and stuff like that. with a blend of people who are currently on the indie scene that's not signed anywhere or whatever, not giving them an opportunity to showcase their skills so that way they can see live and direct firsthand, okay, this is what it takes to be on television, this is what it takes to be on the big time and stuff like that. Not saying that AEW is big time or not big time, but like this is very different from this ain't your fucking mama's barnyard, you know what I'm saying? This ain't
Vince McMahon telling anybody what to do.
you
And it's
know
been a long time since we had any of that, or whether or Eric Bischoff or Vince McMahon or the old heads of wrestling, like just with their philosophy. This is a new philosophy, more of the what's going on in independence of like we're going to work with a bunch of promotions. We're going to show different titles on TV that you may have not seen or heard of before. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I'm critical sometimes of it when it feels like it's just too many titles, too many belts on the show. But I do feel like it is a different vibe. It's actually turned into a good alternative for my history, with Dynamite. However, with that being said, I do feel like it could be a deterrent sometimes when they show a bunch of people coming from all over the place and they're not explaining who these people are, where they're from, why they're this way, why they're beefing with this guy, and they're having a match for this title I've never heard of, and it's this going on, and it's just so like, I'm going to just stay with the most hardcore of hardcore fans. I'm going to rock with them, and I'm not going to actually explain anything. And it's kind of hurt part of Dynamite, in which it's not telling consistent stories. It's more like this is someone else's story that you were getting thrown into Dynamite.
Yeah, like they have a very hard time of translating stories over from other places to here, because then you have Excalibur freaking going a mile a minute on his breath trying to tell you the whole rivalry within like 6 seconds, and it's just like, no, you need time, you need that to digest. I mean, why are they fighting? Oh, he fought in New Japan with him and he beat him like 9 times, and this is the only time that he's beat him here, and it's because of this and that. Like, no, like nobody's trying to get that. They're trying to watch a wrestling match. You know what I'm saying? Yes, get that story inside the match, but it's up to the wrestlers themselves to tell that story, regardless of like if I've seen the match 8,000 billion times, or some fucking like young kid that's 7 years old seeing this match for the very first time in his whole life. Like it shouldn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? WWE does this very well. They'll have matches that's happened before. Shinsuke and AJ, for example, they've had that match. That match has been seen in Japan, but they have their own version of this match. Like, let them promote their version of this match. You don't have to go off the back of what they did last time, even though you can.
Yeah, like a good example would be you can go to NXT, Sammy and KO. They Kevin Owens was debuting on NXT. They were putting the fight on his fight. Sammy wins the NXT title. They're doing the celebration and everything. You have a quick snippet of, oh, this is his longtime friend, and all that, and then he attacks him, but you don't get all their backstory until the next episode in vignettes. But you get like, what the hell?
And then they built their own new story within the WWE universe construct. So now they have a completely different story that they had when he was El Generico and Kevin Steen versus Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. Like that Sami KO story from NXT all the way to now is incredible. If you really look at their story,
just their ridiculous relationship. Yeah,
it's incredible. But
that's what I feel like my main hindrance with Dynamite has been. It's just that it's just nonstop, fast paced. Here, you got to understand what's going on here. As recently as this week, when you go to Jungle Boy in the ring, or Jack Perry, as he likes to be known, talking his shit with the FTW title, and then Jerry Lynn comes out. If I am under the age of 30, I go, who the fuck is Jerry Lynn?
Jerry Lynn is. You're like, what? X Division champion? What?
Former Ring of Honor and all that.
What? You fought Rob Van Dam? Isn't Van Dam in the Hall of Fame? Who the fuck is Jerry Lynn? Like, the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck is a Jerry Lynn? And you're gonna make me do. You're gonna make me. I know it's easy these days to just research and go on the internet, but let's be honest. Let's be honest. Viewers of TV shows and TV in general are lazy. I don't want to go to Google and be like Jerry Lynn. I want you to tell me the story of Jerry Lynn, and why does ECW or FTW title mean anything to him?
When's the last time Jerry Lynn been in a video game?
What the fuck? I'm gonna say ECW Hardcore Legend or one of the SmackDown
No,
versus
you'll be
Raw.
wrong. It's SmackDown. It's SmackDown. Just bring it. That's the last time that man has been in a wrestling game.
Why do you know that off the top of your head?
Because I played Just Bring It just the other day. That's
okay.
with Just Incredible. Now you're dealing with the X Factor, that stupid ass X Factor group. And that's another thing AEW be fucking up on. Too many fucking groups, bro. Yeah. You have all these dumbass groups, subgroups within the group. Yeah. And I sound like a hypocrite because I love New Japan and how they fucking But again, New Japan has structure. Stardom has structure with these groups. These groups are just random and made up. It feels like I'm watching a fucking universe mode.
I feel like QT Marshall has been through like 7 groups of his own already, just in going like, oh yeah, I'm in the Nightmare Factory, I'm in the Nightmare Family, I'm also a part of the factory that spun off the Nightmare Family, and now I'm joining QTV. And before that, I forget what it was, something else. I feel like he was a part of.
Stupid ass shit, man. It's always some dumb shit.
But on top of that, I do believe there's been more good coming out of AEW Dynamite than there has been bad. Even though I am hypocritical of a lot of stuff they do and the storytelling and some of the methods, there is a lot of good things that come out of this. Whether it's the energy of the crowd, the revitalization of WWE of like, oh shit, we got competition now, even they won't admit it and they say they're secondary brand, but that kicks shit in gear that, oh shit, we got to get our shit together, or what can we do that's different than them? Like they're always, I love the good competition of we bouncing off each other, or what can we do? And I'm gonna say during the midweek war or whatever, the Wednesday night wars, probably peak wrestling right there of like NXT, Black and Gold, followed by Dynamite, of which like who has the better show and going back and forth on who won this week, who won that week. Most of the time, Dynamite will win in viewership, but in wrestling quality, maybe NXT will win this week or something will happen. And I just feel like that's been some of the good that's brought out from Dynamite. Now,
just for AEW to poach all them niggas from NXT anyway.
I won the war and I grabbed all the losers.
You know, but again, like you were saying, like, you know, it forced WWE to make a better product. Right now, WWE is, and it's gonna be the best wrestling product to watch right now, and that's tough for me to say because I'm, you know, not really jacking WWE like that. But again, they have the best wrestling product right now. They have the best storylines. They have the best wrestlers right now. Like, you know, they have the highest draws. Like, it's no question. Dominic can't even talk on the microphone. You know what I'm saying? Rhea Ripley is fucking over. Like, everybody that's on fucking the Bloodline has elevated just by being associated with the Bloodline. That's Sami Zayn included. You know what I'm saying? And he's not even in it no more.
All right. So let's get to the nitty gritty of all this. Dynamite's 200 episodes in. Who would you say is the biggest? Who's been the MVP of Dynamite for the first 200 episodes we've been through?
I have 3.
Three?
Yeah, I have 3.
Okay.
Chris Jericho.
Okay. Right? Okay. What with that? With all these factions? MJF,
and Orange Cassidy.
Orange Cassidy snuck in there at the end. Is that because of his recent work or just in general?
His whole span of who the fuck is this guy that's wrestling with his hands in his pockets to, yo, this guy's a fucking champion. Like, you know, he's defending, like he's producing these matches. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And again, like, you know, I'm not a fan of comedic kind of wrestling type stuff, but he's not even doing, you know, what most wrestlers are fucking doing these days and stuff like that. But to help with Manny,
yeah, the Lord is demanding a number 1.
I'm gonna say it's Chris Jericho. Overall, Chris Jericho is the MVP of Dynamite because he's been in every major storyline. He's been the champion before. He's elevated everybody that he's been with somewhat to an extent. They are now known more because of their association with Jericho. It's Chris Jericho. You know everybody that he's touched in the ring, he's been in the ring with, he's elevated them to being like, I don't know who this nigga is, to everyone knows who I am now. Action Andretti is a big prime example. Who the fuck is this kid? He beat Chris Jericho. Now everybody knows his name. Even
I already forgot him.
you know what I'm saying? Like, anything that Jericho touches is gold, literally. So it's Chris Jericho, if we're gonna be fucking honest.
Okay, so you're going Chris Jericho. I am going to go a different route with this. I'm going to go with someone that made his debut at AEW Double or Nothing. I'm going to say, even though I'm not a fan of this guy all the time, I just feel like, he's been there since day one. I don't think this man has took a day off. He cuts promos, tries to help everybody get over. I'm not a fan of all his matches, but I would add Jon Moxley to the list of MVPs of the Dynamite era of the first 200, as in also being a two-time world champion. Take that for your one time with Jericho. Involved in almost every major storyline, promoting the brand from being outside inside, only taking time off to, I guess, fix himself from his alcohol abuse. Hopefully he's still clean and whatnot, and everything's well with that. But has elevated. And I'm really shocked that these two would be the MVPs, considering how AEW started, which are Cody's in the Elite. I was really thinking that Kenny Omega should be the MVP, but there was so much downtime with either injury or him just fucking around in storylines and doing nothing, to now where he's like a main eventer and taking himself more serious. He should be the MVP, but I Orange Cassidy, Jon Moxley, early stages you can go with Cody and the Bucks were early on, but they kind of fell off a little bit.
You can argue Darby Allin, right? You can argue Sammy Guevara being there day one, like producing great matches, being in storylines that matter. It's arguable. Like, what I'm saying?
Now, the tough question is, who's been the biggest deterrent, or someone who's been like, they're holding the brand of AEW and Dynamite back?
Let's stop the fucking cap.
Damn, I can't finish the sentence. You're like, he's talking about Punk.
As big of a draw as CM Punk is, he is like everything that Triple H said that he was. He's gonna be like It's not so much like he's a cancer, because he does produce great matches and stuff like that, but that locker room is in disarray every time that man is in somebody's locker room. What's good with that?
Yeah.
Everybody else can't be the problem.
I mean, you have to invent a separate show to put him and other disgruntled employees to deal with him and his issues or whatever's going on with that. It's before he came along, you can argue that they had a happy locker room. Like, no one questioned what was going on. And in Cody's documentary, he said there was no talent whatsoever that deterred him from leaving. Like he said, it wasn't money and it wasn't any talent. It was a personal issue. But when he said no talent, I thought of one person as my number one deterrent. I did it because he said no talent. Oh, he's gonna be specific. It's not Kenny and the Bucks. There's only one person else on top that can make you go, I'm getting the fuck out of here right now. And I'm blaming it all on the shoulders of Mr. TK Tony Khan right off the jump, of being the creator of Dynamite, but also its biggest weakness, as in his social media rants or his lack of consistency. Yeah, stay away from the blows, though, man. Stay off X. Jesus, that's so weird to say now. His lack of his oddness of like being on camera, his hugs, his awkwardness, and saying things that sound ridiculous, even though there's truth to a point, but then he comes off as very like
markish. He's a with money.
Yeah, and it just comes off as like, hey, you know what? It's better if you just stay back, and you're creating this like animosity toward like random things of like, oh, what like I don't care about that. Just give me a good show. Don't go out there and talk about and cutting promos on Impact or whatever, all the stuff he's done over time, and just go like, why? And then even if you blame CM Punk, leadership, he should have came in there and nipped all this shit in the butt right about all this locker room.
He should have been like, hey, we're not going to talk about that. We'll discuss that at a later date. Ask him anything else other than this, and he could have fucking, It took five of the top stars out for months.
Yeah. 4 or 5 out of the media scrum he had with the cupcake and everything, and
then they had to
all
do
that.
an NXT 2.0 reboot on AEW, fucking just so that way they can recover from that. Like, you know, as much as it elevated, it fucking decreased, and then did this whole roller coaster, ruining their momentum.
Yep. So that have it. That's our 200 recap of Dynamite. What's been? Oh, I was gonna also ask, what's there in 200 episodes? What should be your favorite moment of Dynamite or match or something?
It would be the Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson coming at the same time. Like,
that was all out. It has to be a Dynamite thing. It has to be a Dynamite, not AEW. Dynamite.
Not AEW as well. Okay, so we're talking just Dynamite?
Just on Dynamite, just on TV.
It would be Omega and Bryan won when they fought each other the first time I was there. I felt the energy was palpable.
Yeah. That was was that the draw? Was that the draw?
Yeah.
And was that Arthur Ashe or was that the
Arthur Ashe, man?
That was Arthur Ashe, right? Yeah.
I was fucking there.
Yeah. That is like you said, that's one of their like that's pretty classic. That's one of the iconic moments of just like the first Arthur Ashe show. Bryan Danielson's there. I'm gonna agree with you. That was the one I was gonna say. The Arthur Ashe, Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson match was probably the best. Manny's highlight is Sheeta versus Deeb. All of them matches that happened on Dynamite. Pettiest shit in the world. Also, bad thing about Dynamite, women to get more segments. We should be beyond just having one match.
Women should get more time on the show. Like I feel like AEW's women's division is not as respected as other women's divisions are. You know, and this is like including Impact. Even NWA has a fucking like respectable women's division because they are defending titles and
featured.
And featured. They have their own pay-per-view and stuff like that. Like AEW don't got none of that.
The women on Dynamite feel like vegetables on my meal. That I'm just gonna throw it on there just because. Like I want a giant steak. Well, here's some carrots and shit. You gotta eat healthy. Or you know, McDonald's trying to serve me apples instead of like giving me chicken nuggets or something. They're just forcing it in, even though that's not what they're about. And it just seems like it's just like it's a waste. Like you think it would have come off hot after Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker, which might be some people's highlight of one of their great matches.
It was great, but like you know, who did that benefit more?
Just Britt Baker, and then nothing really actually came of that. Now Thunder Rosa is just, you know, I think she walked in Tony Khan's office one time since then. And we never saw her again.
She about to be on Collision every week, doing the whole Miro thing and all that.
Yeah. But it's a lot that's going on. But I think that's one of the things they can improve. But moving on from Dynamite, it's time to talk about the G1 Climax. Jamal, I believe you have all the list of names who've been eliminated from the G1 as it currently stands. You just went off the top of your head before the show. I don't know if you actually had a list.
All right, so here we go. Everybody that's officially out, they are packed the fuck up. These are the pack the fuck up motherfuckers in the G1 Climax 33. Chase Owens, Ren Narita out the A block, pack them the fuck up out of here. Get out of here. Fucking out of the B block, Yoshihashi, Kenta, and Great Khan, pack the fuck up. They are finished.
I'm only happy to hear Yoshihashi in that next little group you said right there. I was like, Great Khan deserves better, damn it, but he's gone.
Block C, 3 niggas is out of here. Freaking goddamn Hanari, Tomohiro Ishii, and Mikey Nichols of TMDK. They are packed up out of here. Ain't winning the G1 no possible way. Don't care how many matches. They could win the rest of the matches. It still doesn't matter. They're out.
Tomohiro Ishii, like I said, the pre-show started 0-5, and the tournament was 2 months. Hadn't even started yet.
He won this match. So
yeah. But he started. It was rough.
It was abysmal. It was abysmal to get that win. And then right now, out of the D block, Shane Hayes, TMDK, Alex Coughlin, New Bullet Club, and Toriano packed them the fuck up out of
Oh,
here.
Yano's out. Come on, Yano can't be out.
They are
Yano,
out of here.
Yano, yeah.
Pack them up.
Yano beat Jeff Cobb.
He's not beating no T1.
You know, it depends if you win. If you beat somebody that was high ranked, I think you should be elevated up and take their spot. Jeff Cobb should be elevated.
The points are the points, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Just like Hikuleo beat Will Ospreay, he got the win. That's all that matters. It was a count out. He got the win. He beat Will Ospreay. Count.
What a setup count out. But not my favorite count out of the show. Kiyomiya versus Gabe Kidd. Best count out I've seen in a long time in wrestling, in which two people just took everything personal. It got really personal on the outside of the ring. And I want to point out, if you haven't seen that match, check that one out. But in general, check out Gabe Kidd. Thank you, Jamal, as I said in the pre-show earlier, to checking out this guy, his matches. Dude's a savage out there. He threw the barricade into the crowd of people. He's throwing chairs at people. He doesn't give a fuck out there.
He doesn't give a fuck about nothing. And even in his backstage comments, he was like, "You think I give a fuck about Kiyomiya from fucking Pro Wrestling Noah? The Bisho of Japan? You think I give a fuck about that?" Yo.
Yeah. In the middle of the match, he got on the microphone and was screaming "fuck Noah" and everything like that, flicking everybody out. And shit got personal that I was like, we need the rematches up for no reason. I don't care where it happens, rematch it up. It got that personal and that heated. Another match I wanted to spotlight, of course, Okada Will Ospreay. This is almost a week ago, but 20-minute match. Oh, Ospreay got Okada in under 20 minutes, which they were saying like no one beats Okada under 20 minutes. Okada matches always last about 40 minutes, especially when he's in a high class talent like this. Really good matches.
Okada beat Kenta in 19.
In 19, yeah. It's really that was also a really good match. I enjoyed that one. Kenta was running around the fucking thing because he's like, I have no chance of winning this anyway.
He's trying to get this draw. He's trying to get this draw. Okada for those points.
Yeah, so it was basically a fuck Okada kind of mentality. Also, Shota Umino versus Yuja Soji was a really good match. Watching some of these young guys go at it. And, we normally mention the veterans, but these are the old guys, young guys.
And Narita at the beginning of the tournament. Hikuleo versus Sonata at the beginning of the tournament. Jeff Cobb, Zack Sabre Jr. If you get a chance to watch that one, like that was great.
Yeah.
Like, geez, man.
Of all the blocks, the A block to me has been the best. It's just been some really good matches coming out of there. Which block is Jeff Cobb? D block. D block has also been really good as well.
The C block has been competitive for like the most part. It's been the most competitive. Like, you know, people's been winning and losing and stuff like that. It's not been a runaway type stuff.
Yeah, it's currently a 3-way tie, I believe, in the C block with David Finlay, Evil, and Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston. So that's going to be interesting.
Rooting for Eddie in that one? I'm rooting for Eddie. I'm not I don't care about wrestling. He needs to probably go back to AEW and Dynamite, finish whatever storyline is going there. Not rooting for Evil.
If Eddie Kingston wins his block but loses the semifinals or that'll be I'll be all right with that. But it just depends on who he's gonna face, because I believe the C block is gonna wrestle the A block and the B block is gonna wrestle the D block, and whoever wins those matches goes against each other for the championship for the G1.
I feel like he should be the one representing C block, and then he can get knocked out by anybody else that goes on top. But
I mean, like I'm looking at it at a different angle, right? So you have Evil and fucking David Finlay, both members of Bullet Club, one obviously House of Torture, whatever not. So if one of them could like actually win the block, then they have like that stronghold of like, you know, I'm the guy. And then, you know, whether they win or lose or whatever, not, it's irrelevant. It's the story after that I'm looking forward to when it pertains to that. So, you know, I really could care. Now, I'm not going to say I could care less about the C block, because, you know, it's going to be whoever wins that block, whether it's David Finlay, Evil, or Eddie Kingston, depending on who they face or the potential people who could they face, like a Jeff Cobb or a Zack Sabre Jr. and Okada, Sonata, like
Sonata.
you know, something like that nature. Like so, it's really interesting. You know, think about it: Eddie Kingston, New Japan Strong Champion versus Kazuchika Okada, and it's for the block. And then Eddie
Yeah.
Kingston does what fucking Bronson Reed did on Cerulean Blue a couple years back in the G1. Like you know, what I'm saying
Eddie Kingston ain't beat no Okada.
he's not doing it, but I'm just saying. Like imagine if he did.
Yeah, and this is the only way we will probably see Okada versus Eddie Kingston. It's probably in this G1. I don't think anybody's booking that anywhere in the world or any different show. So this could be an opportunity depending on how they're going to do. But that's pretty much the G1. It's been good. I feel like it's been good. I don't know if it's been great. There's been a lot of really good matches. I don't know if there's anything I've been on the edge of my seat going like.
It hasn't been the best. It hasn't been the best G1. Like I think the best G1 was the one where Kota Ibushi got knocked out. Like you know, he knocked himself out.
Yeah,
that
2-3
whole
years.
entire G1 was incredible. So I haven't seen that in a minute, and that was like in 2019 or
something like that. 2019, maybe circa 21.
Was it COVID one? Was it COVID G1?
It may 18 or 19. I think it was right before. I don't think it was COVID. I think it was right before COVID, right?
Before COVID, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it might be 18 or 19.
Jeez, man, he knocked himself the fuck out. Watch that G1 match. Holy shit, knocked himself out.
Kota ain't been the same since, to be honest.
Even Kevin Kelly got the best the best fucking announcing that he's ever done. No, it wasn't Kevin Kelly. It was the other dude. He was just like, the rise of the Phoenix. He does a Phoenix splash and misses, and he crashes and burns.
He's dead.
Yo, that shit had me cracking up, bro.
All right, Jamal. Is there anything else you would like to talk about? Anything else to follow up on for the week of the world of wrestling?
So, if you guys do want to check out some Lucha Libre, they are doing free replays on Instagram of all fucking things. What? And yeah, like you know the
triplet. Swipe it over and over and over.
No, it's replays of the matches specific. So like you know they'll show the specific match on. It'll be there.
Oh, okay.
So. Yeah, Triple Mania. Go peep that out if you're into Lucha Libre and everything like that. NWA 75 is coming. Big main event is going to be Tyrus versus EC3. Can EC3 take that title off of Tyrus? Because you know, it's time to open up my fucking eyes, all four of them, and say, Tyrus, you got to get packed up as the world champion.
It's not even like EC3 is the greatest upgrade in the world. It's just not Tyrus.
Time to open up the eyes.
So. I didn't realize how much Manny's boy Nick Aldis meant to the NWA until he was gone.
Also Impact Wrestling doing good things. Go peep that out every freaking Thursday. Night.
I read that Impact Wrestling got their highest rating in 18 months since basically Kenny Omega was on the show or whoever was on the show.
Bully Ray is doing amazing things for them.
It's Bully Ray, and I'm going to also give credit to Trinity. Trinity fought too out there with the title.
All of the Trinity stands are really flocking over to Impact in the shows.
The Total Divas people, they can stop us now. I don't know. I think that's but Impact again. A lot of momentum on their side. They're gaining power. A company that was dead once is back.
Look, Josh Alexander just returned. Alex Shelley is the world champion now. Alex Shelley acknowledged that Josh Alexander has beaten him already twice for the world title, but this time is different because Alex Shelley is now the world champion. If Josh Alexander gets a shot, you gotta see what happens.
He better win. I don't want Josh Alexander to get that title again. Keep it on Shelley.
So would you rather have Jonathan Gresham as the Ring of Honor world champion or Josh Alexander as the Impact world champion?
I'd rather have
because they're both as good as they are
wrestlers.
As good as they are in the ring, they are both bland as hell.
Yeah. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna go Josh Alexander.
Don't disrespect Nick Aldis like
that. No. This channel is designed to disrespect Nick
Josh Alexander like that.
Woo. Yeah, that's disrespectful. I didn't see that coming. It's Canadian Nick Aldis. No. Nick Aldis can cut a promo.
This is true. This is true. Say what you want. Say what you want.
Nick got that promo ability. Josh don't have that.
He is the national treasure.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with the Josh Alexander's Impact Champion. I don't think I like my answer either. I may change it in the next 20 minutes. Like,
I mean, the only thing that Gresham got going for him is that Jordan Grace is his wife, and even that is not helping him.
Yeah, free agent Jordan Grace. Go ahead, sign somewhere. Save a women's division, either WWE or AEW or something. Go do something. Do something with your life. You did everything in Impact already, like 8 times. So go do something with your life. Either join AEW or WWE right now. Or at Craziness, join Stardom. I don't know. Do something with your life. That's all I got for the show today. And that's the message of the show today. Go do something with your life, Jordan Grace. Just do something. You can find Jamal on SoundCloud, where if you want a recap and history of all the G1s, most of the G1s, if not 80% of the G1s, on the Midcard Mess podcast on SoundCloud /3 Faces of Jamal. That is a number, not the word 3. Just type the letter 3, and you should be the number 3.
You're dyslexic.
Well, we all know I can't spell. I went Diamante. We're doing Diamante live.
You know this is going on the best of now because you've been fucking up alphabets and numbers all day, nigga.
Well, I can't help it, okay? I have had a learning disability my whole day, okay? But yeah, be sure to check out the dumb show, the Untitled Mania Market Show, where we will.
Let's call a spade. Remember, my eyes are open. The A show, the Untitled Mania Market Show.
I refuse to give the Untitled Mania Market Show the A show for the simple fact the A show is a Manny short that's featuring either Rhea Ripley or Kathy Kelly.
Manny single-handedly by himself, the man who took down Kerry Oliver as the #1 contributor of the Midcard Mess.
Yes. Now they're going after Daniel, who's a poster.
Yeah, Daniel's been contributing a lot. So
yeah, he's #1. But check out all of that, all our content. We're here all week. SummerSlam watch along should be there for that. That's pretty much it. That's all we got for the show this week. Hope you guys have
the next episode of the Midcard Mess is going to be on Monday in the afternoon. Me and my boy Jamel is gonna fucking review SummerSlam and stuff like that. I mean, we're gonna be there for the watch along, but like again,
yeah,
that's gonna be.
You will be there. Midcard Mess. Tune in Monday live before Monday Night Raw. Get your midcard going, and then enjoy the show. All right, see you guys later. To quote Tiffany Stratton, toodles.
Toodles.
Toodles. Toodles.